Folks, I've just broken my Citi Magnificent 5 and I now have 4 Citi Custom Cash cards. Is this even legal? When is Citi gonna stop me? Citi's website clearly states that their policy is to offer only 1 custom cash card account per customer. So how come I have 4? Again, is this legal? And should I be concerned? I just can't stop myself from acquiring Citi Custom Cash cards. I keep promising to stop, but it's addictive. At this point, I'm not even sure if it's the 5x multiplier on spend that's alluring. It might just be the game. I coined the terms Citi Magnificent 5 and Citi Magnificent 5 Plus, which to this day are the best Citi strategies out there. If you're thinking or even parroting Citi Trifecta, just so you know, that's outdated. It's 2025 and Citi Magnificent 5 is what we should all be talking about. I'm gonna keep amassing these free 5 point per dollar cards until there's a 6 points per dollar card out there that I can exploit. So, does this change my Citi Magnificent 5 strategy? Not at all. There's a method to my madness, hidden deep beneath the madness. Your boy always has a strategy up his sleeves, so let's find out. For those new to the channel, I'm Richard Debs from R2 Travel Rewards, and I'm an avid traveler. If you're watching this, you're likely trying to figure out how you too can bathe in 5 points per dollar cards and run the best Citi credit card strategy out there. Go ahead and subscribe to see how I use credit card points and miles to enable this travel habit of mine. And be sure to hit me up in the chat section of my website, boomacompany.com, if you have targeted questions or tidbits to share. In this video, we're gonna cover why I broke up my Citi Magnificent 5 and how to reestablish it and supercharge it. So let's start with why I broke up my Citi Magnificent 5. The plain and simple answer is that I want to amass as many Citi thank you points as possible in 2025 because I've drained all my Citi points last year. If you've been following this channel, you should be aware that one of the strategies I run is the Citi Magnificent 5. But if you're a newbie, here's a quick overview. The Citi Magnificent 5 is made up of 1 Citi Double Cash card, which offers 2 points per dollar on spend, 3 Citi Custom Cash cards, which each earns 5 points per dollar on spend in these merchant categories, but with a cap of $500 in any one category each billing cycle. To maximize this benefit, we use the gift card method to avoid ever paying 1 point per dollar on anything. I have an entire video on that. And lastly, 1 Citi Strata Premier, which is our anchor card and grants access to travel. Though they have cash in the name, note that the default currency of the Double Cash and the Custom Cash are Citi thank you points, and you may redeem those for their cash equivalent. However, you're watching R2 Travel Rewards, so we love thank you points and always transfer them to travel partners, then book award travel with them. I highly recommend that you watch these 3 videos to see how to acquire the Citi Magnificent 5, why the Citi Magnificent 5 is so valuable, and how to strategically use the Citi Magnificent 5 gift card method. So now Richard, you've made it clear that the Citi Magnificent 5 is made up of 3 Citi Custom Cash cards, but you now have 4. Why? That's a great question. As stated earlier, I've completely drained my Citi thank you points back in 2024, which isn't a bad thing because that means I've booked travel, and lots of travel. So essentially, I have to work on building back my Citi thank you points. And what's the fastest way of amassing Citi thank you points other than a sign-up bonus? The answer is to spend on as many 5 points per dollar categories as possible. Given that I won't be redeeming any Citi thank you points for about 12 months, I opted to product change my Citi Strata Premier card into a 4th Citi Custom Cash card so that I may bathe in 5 point per dollar categories for the next 12 months. So guys, I've intentionally broken up my Citi Magnificent 5 to amass more Citi thank you points for the next year. There's nothing like seeing a good illustration to crystallize a message, so let's have a look. I've shown this sheet before on how a fixed spend of $1,800 a month in 4 categories can net just over 45,000 thank you points when using a single Citi Custom Cash card, versus yielding more than 100,000 points when utilizing the Citi Magnificent 5. So it shouldn't be surprising that it yields even more when we're utilizing 4 Citi Custom Cash cards in the categories that fit your use case. So for this exercise, I'm gonna swap out the gas category used earlier for travel/home improvement. And I'm gonna increase the total monthly spend in these 2 categories to a combined $500. So in some months, you'll procure a Home Depot or Lowe's $500 gift card. And in other months, you use a Citi Custom Cash card to purchase short-haul flights or book seats or even pay for your luggage. So the total monthly spend around all these categories is $2,100. When we use just a single Citi Custom Cash card, we earn 49,000 Citi Thank You points over a 12-month period. If any of you think no one uses one credit card to cover all their purchases, then you don't really understand the US consumer base that well. This video is my attempt to convince those folks not to do that. I'm trying to convince them to be more strategic with their spend, but only 5,000 of them will see this video. So click that share button. So if we employ our Citi Duo, which consists of the Citi Custom Cash and the Citi Double Cash, then it yields 68,000 thank you points when used correctly. Note how we use the Citi Double Cash across all categories, but we've carved out the Citi Custom Cash for one $500 supermarket gift card so that we earn 5 points per dollar on groceries each month. So what if we employ the old school Citi trifecta and use it strategically? Our points will grow to 86,000 thank you points. However, we know that this video is about utilizing the Citi Magnificent 5. And when we do that, our points will grow to 110,000 points annually on the same monthly spend. Guys, let that sink in. The lesson here is to spend strategically because it clearly matters. All right, so let's pause this section, go to a new section, but then we're gonna come back and wrap it all together. And you'll want to stick around for that. So let's talk about how to reestablish the Citi Magnificent 5 and how to supercharge it. After 12 months, when I once again need to redeem my thank you points, I'm gonna do the following. First, I'll apply for a Citi Rewards Plus card, which has a $0 annual fee. The Rewards Plus currently has a 20,000 sign-up bonus, which will likely persist all year. Its multipliers are basic, and I'm not gonna get into them here, because the only reason we're acquiring this card is to take advantage of the 10% points back bonus, which applies for the first 100,000 points redemption in a calendar year. So let me explain and make it clear for those of you who are relatively new to the game. Let's say that you redeem 120,000 thank you points in 2025. Congratulations, by the way. I highly recommend traveling to Africa. Just by owning the Rewards Plus card, Citi is gonna dump 10,000 Citi thank you points into your account. Again, it's based on 10% of the first 100,000 thank you points redeemed. It's pretty good. Then I'm gonna product change one of my 4 Citi Custom Cash cards back to a Citi Strata Premier, or the real CSP. This will reestablish my Citi Magnificent 5 and immediately elevate it to an elite Citi Magnificent 5 Plus setup. Now I'm aware that very few folks will actually achieve the Citi Magnificent 5 or the Citi Magnificent 5 Plus, but I'm going for it in 2025. Remember this video here? I have my fingers crossed that Citi will look kindly and approve my new application for a Rewards Plus card when I submit it later this year. So now that we've reestablished and supercharged our Citi Magnificent 5 Plus setup, let's jump back into our sheet. So using 4 Citi Custom Cash cards for the next 12-month period nets us 122,000 thank you points. But that's not all. We need to layer on the 20,000 point sign-up bonus from acquiring the Rewards Plus card. And we need to layer on the 10% or the 10,000 points back bonus when we transferred out 100,000 points to transfer partners. So our new yield for 2025 will be 152,000 Citi thank you points. I don't know about you, but I'm blown away by this number. So does it make sense now why I've happily broken my Citi Magnificent 5 setup with plans to reestablish it as the Citi Magnificent 5 Plus? Guys, note that these numbers are for illustrative purposes only, because your spend habits will differ from mine. I'm always playing the long game to maximize my rewards for travel. Not only is travel rewarding, but I literally enjoy the points and miles game and creating strategies to test drive and then sharing the successful ones with you. I hope that you can clearly see the power of the Citi Magnificent 5 and its elite sibling, the Citi Magnificent 5 Plus. Hey guys, this setup only costs $95 in annual fees. So who's playing the long game with me? Let's get going on our Citi Magnificent 5 Plus journey. Thank you for watching until the end. Since you've gotten this far, it only makes sense to like, share, subscribe to this channel, and become a member to help give it some visibility. As always, take care and be good to each other.